Welcome back to the Fulfilled Female Entrepreneur Podcast. It's your host, Cassandra Rosa. I'm a certified coach and healer and intuitive business coach. And the mission behind this podcast is to help you to create a fulfilling life and business. I'm so excited to be talking about some of the biggest lessons I learned. This is a tradition that I've done with the podcast and in my Facebook group the past 5 years. So I'm really excited to just continue it off and do a solo episode. We haven't done one of those in a while. So this is a gifted extra episode of the podcast this week. I'm really excited to get into them. And I invite you to go check out my Facebook group. There will be a link in the show notes or the description of this video for you to go check it out. I shared my first 15 lessons. I'm going to continue it off here with number 16. Find gratitude for each season. I've been talking about this a lot in my content, even over on Instagram. My handle is Cassandra Rosa, if you're not following me. Talking about the importance of finding gratitude for each season of life. Because there's going to be seasons that you're out there and you're attracting your clients with so much ease and offering so many beautiful offerings and services. And there's going to be time for solitude. And I was in a season of like more solitude, more creativity, integration period for the past few years. I'm coming out of it now, but the reason that I'm moving out of it now is because of this extra lens of gratitude and higher understanding of the cyclical nature of our lives. So be grateful for every season. Even if it's difficult seasons, it's really important to be able to find the lesson in each and every one of them so you're able to move forward. The next lesson is surrender is much more easeful than control. So when we try and overplan everything, when we can try to control the outcomes of our lives, it's a safety mechanism. And we're often doing that just so that we stay in our comfort zone and we feel like we're the creators of our lives. But the more that I realize that when you step into the sense of surrender, when you know that life is a co-creative experience with the divine, it's so much more easy. There's not so much pressure. There's not so much expectations that can be exceeded or they can be completely not met. So surrender is something that I've learned is so, so, so powerful. And I used to resist it. And I used to think, how do you surrender? Right? Like that was a big thing that a lot of spiritual teachers talk about it, but it's easier than you think once you have a higher understanding of the co-creative experience in which we have. Solitude and stillness create spaciousness for answers. That's number 18. So when we go through these big shifts in life, I love to call them my now up moments, those moments of growth when there's uncertainty of what's next. We can often try and search on the outside for the answers, right? And like always be searching, always being a seeker, and doing more to achieve more. And what I've realized is being in solitude, creating stillness. That's when the clarity comes. That's when the understanding comes. That's when the answers to whatever question is will be received. Because in that stillness, you can connect deeply with your intuition and you can uncover all the beauty and all of the things that you seek. So I really created more moments of solitude for myself over the past year, spending time to check in with myself, my intuition, and be divinely guided for my life and my business. And I just feel like I've never been more clear. Next, you can't rush the divine plan, number 19. So one of my flaws, it's good to know your strengths and your flaws, is impatience. I think it's very deeply ingrained into society to be wanting things now in the tip of our finger, like in the snap of our fingers. We have Amazon Prime that will deliver something the next day. We, have the internet and social media in which the interactions are so quick. So sometimes we want life to just be quick for us when we want something to have it, whether it's more clients, it's more success, it's more engagement, it's going viral, whatever that may be. Those are some business examples. But I've realized that there's always a reason for the plan, the way that it's unfolding, right? If things are taking longer than expected, there's some lessons, there's some earth school subjects that we're meant to go through in life. We're meant to learn certain things to prepare us for the most divine plan to get there. And once I've kind of released expectations of my plan being perfect and all expectations being met, and really gave myself permission to slow down and lean into trust, the experience of life has just been so different. Number 20, nervous system regulation is so important. So I went through a lot in the beginning of the year. I've kind of shared it on different platforms, but it was like an intruder on the property, and I never had my safety be um, at risk before, and lots of just nonstop family things with the loss of my grandmother and lots of things going on. My nervous system was out of whack. I felt like I was in fight or flight, in panicky mode. And I really learned about breath work and nervous system regulation. And I think that that's so key. I think we're all kind of working on fried nervous systems. And the more that you're able to tell your body it is safe, let's calm down, let's get out of fight or flight. The experience of life is just so much different, and you feel so much better. And the amount of calmness, no matter what's come my way after learning these tools, has exponentially changed my life. 21, let your breath be your guide back home. So, kind of continuing this conversation about breath, I did some breath work with a mentor of mine a few years ago when I brought it back this year, and just learning how powerful it is to use your breath in moments in which chaos can exude, happen on the outside of life, and you need to come into this like homey, safety, calm feeling. It's such a game changer. So using breath work, even something as simple as breathing in for 3 seconds in through your nose and out through your nose for 3 seconds. The calm practices like that, the simple ones, have just transformed my life in the way that I'm able to deal with life, the crazy parts of life on the outside. 22, pets are angels on earth. So I have my dog Leo. He is my little pride and joy, my little baby. He's always here when I'm recording the episodes and client calls. And he's just like a little angel that always has just beautiful energy brought to the sessions. It's funny, whenever there's a client on, he wants to come and say hello. Just for me personally, with the amount of things that I've gone through this year, he's just been such a blessing in my life, and I appreciate him so much. And for all of you that are listening, if you have a pet, like, love on them a little bit extra. It's funny, like, once you like one thing on Instagram Reels, that becomes your whole thing, and all these dog things were just coming up. And there was this thing about how, like, we experience so much in life, but for the pets, like, so much of their lives are surrounded around us. So I always hug them a little bit tight, extra tight at night, and express gratitude for him for being an angel in my life. 23, everyone grieves differently. With the loss of my grandmother this year, you could just see all the different ways that people grieve. We have such a tight knit family, and it's interesting to see how each one of us was processing it. And there's nothing wrong with the way that people grieve. There's nothing wrong with everybody's unique and individual experience. It's just giving each other the permission to do what we think is best, and being a loving support along the way. 24, business missions constantly evolve. I myself am in a beautiful season of evolving my business mission into who I am today and what I stand for. And it's just interesting to see, reflecting on the past 10 years in the industry and 5 years being solo, working in this capacity, how my mission has evolved. And really giving yourself permission to evolve your business with you, I think, is something powerful. And it is a growing experience. It is an interesting experience to unfold and understand. But yeah, you will be hearing lots of updates in following episodes for how my mission has evolved. So stay tuned for that. 25, how much I love podcasting. So I've been podcasting for the past 4 years. My first podcast was the Clarity Conversations podcast. And then I went to 100 episodes and it's still out. You can go and check it out. And I concluded it. My business mission evolved, and so did the branding. So we came over here to Fulfilled Female Entrepreneur podcast. And then this year, I actually started a second podcast that is current right now with a friend of mine named Natalie, called the Limitless Human Podcast, really about helping you to achieve your limitless potential while honoring the human experience. And just having the beautiful conversations that have been happening in here and the beautiful conversations I've been having with Natalie at the Limitless Human Podcast, it has just made me fall even deeper, more in love with podcasting. So it's just been beautiful to connect with people all over the world, and co-create so much magic. 26, coaching kids is so rewarding. So if you don't know my story, I actually got in the industry 10 years ago doing vision board workshops in schools and community centers with kids with a friend of mine. It was so much fun. And I had a full circle moment this year where a client of mine, daughters were really wanting to have like a summer camp. So we did like vision board workshops and we did, confidence building exercises and mindset. And it was just so much fun. And it really reminded me why I started in the industry in the first place. So I'm really looking to open up the space for more opportunities like that. It was so cool to see all their light bulb moments at such a young age and to see how a family was transformed by, helping the kids out. So I really fell more deeper in love with the experience of doing that. 27, to not put myself in a box. I think sometimes when we're used to playing a certain way and being in a certain frequency and experience of life and business, it can get stagnant, it can get small, it can be stuffy. And I'm ready to just bust on open any ways of operating that I've done in the past and just go into new heights. So I don't want to limit myself by the way that I feel like should be running my business or should be podcasting or should, be doing things in my day-to-day life. I think in the industry, there's so many people and we can often be guided by what everyone else is doing. And I just feel like I'm in a season where I'm ready to just go to the beat of my own drum and just go for it and not limit myself. 28, I'm an igniter. I'm really understanding my energy archetype when it comes to human design. And as a manifester, we're just meant to lead and ignite and get people going and inspired. And the more that I've understood all the different clients that I've worked with the past few years, the more that I've realized how I've given them that like a loving push to get started in their healing and their businesses and all these different things. So I want to lean into that more. I want to lean more into that igniter energy. And it's interesting. We were recording an episode on the Limitless Human podcast with Natalie, my friend, and she was talking about human design and she's talking about parts of a car and what each human design archetype, human design profile, if you will, their role in the car. And manifestors were the igniters. And I felt so much liberation in understanding that that's my role to play, is to ignite people into stepping into that fulfillment, that impact, that ripple effect. So I'm ready to lean into that more. And also in line with that, number 29 is I'm not going to help everyone. I am just such a big hearted person that just loves to help people. And I have always seen myself on stages helping so many people and like ready for that now. And I've really understood and found a lot of liberation from the whole concept of, it's okay to help a few on your way to the many, and really leaning into my unique style, my manifestor energy, whatever it may be. It might not be for everyone, but I'm still going to show up for the people that I'm meant to serve, because those are the people that are going to be igniting their ripple effect, and it's going to ripple out that way. So I'm really leaning into that and giving myself permission to not get caught up in the numbers and really focus on, this is what I'm here to do. You're welcome to come on the ride, and I'm ready to help whoever is wanting the help from me. And lastly, number 30, Choose alignment in decision making. So, making decisions from a place in which, is this aligned with my goals? Is this aligned with my mission? Is this going to help me with all the people that I'm meant to serve in this moment right now? And letting that be my guide is something of the highest regard. Um, I've really understood that sometimes you're going to be presented with opportunities that are not 100% aligned, and it's not best to do them. So, really focusing in on the here, the now, what I'm meant to be doing, who I'm meant to be serving, and making sure it aligns on like a mind, body, and soul level, a heck yes level going forward. But with that being said, I hope that these messages landed with you today. I hope that you enjoyed this extra bonus episode today, learning about the lessons of my 30th year as I ring in the 31st year. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for being here as a listener of the beautiful podcast that we've created here. You're welcome to go and check out any of the previous episodes and enjoy them. You're invited to go and connect with me on Instagram. My handle is Cassandra Rosa A, to learn about all the beautiful ways to work with me. I have my Going Deep intensives that I'm really passionate about right now, helping you to transform your internal experience so you can change your external world and help you to get that transformation so you're able to have more happiness, more impact, more love, whatever it is that you're desiring right now. So go go and connect with me on Instagram at Cassandra Rosa A, and go and check out my Facebook group, the Fulfilled Female Entrepreneur Facebook group. There's actually a series in there called Going Deep that I talk about deep topics affecting your spiritual entrepreneur journey. We have discussions. I share more vulnerable stories. So I invite you to go check that out as well. I'm really passionate about that right now. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I'll upload a new video on Thursday. See you in the next one. Bye.